Murder on Inauguration Day, a clue mystery. The Capitol buzzed with excitement and anticipation. It was Inauguration Day, and dignitaries from across the nation had gathered in Washington, D.C. to witness history. But as the crowd cheered and cameras flashed, a shocking turn of events threatened to unravel the celebration. At 10:30 a.m., President Jonathan Blackstone, poised to deliver a damning revelation about corruption among prominent figures, was found dead in a private study adjacent to the ceremonial stage. His sudden demise cast a dark shadow over the event, leaving the nation in shock. 6 notable figures, all present at the Capitol, quickly came under suspicion. Miss Scarlett, a glamorous socialite with deep ties to political fundraisers. Professor Plum, a brilliant yet controversial scientist who consulted on defense projects. Mrs. Peacock, a high society philanthropist known for her influence among Washington's elite. Colonel Mustard, a decorated military officer with secrets to hide. Mr. Green, a slippery lobbyist whose dealings often danced on the edge of legality. Dr. Orchid, a skilled biochemist and the president's personal advisor on health matters. Each of these individuals had a reason to want the president silenced, and each had access to him that morning. The private study where President Blackstone was found was a scene straight out of a thriller. The body lay slumped over the desk, a golden pen clutched in his hand. The glass of water nearby was untouched, but a faint scent of almonds lingered in the air, cyanide. The lead investigator, Detective Eleanor Finch, had to act quickly. She ordered the Capitol locked down and began questioning the suspects. Miss Scarlett? Motive. Blackstone had evidence linking her to a campaign finance scandal that could destroy her social standing. Alibi. Claims she was taking selfies on the balcony overlooking the crowd. However, security footage revealed she disappeared for 10 minutes. Professor Plum? Motive? Blackstone planned to expose his involvement in the misuse of federal grants for his personal research. Alibi says he was discussing climate policy with a senator, but the senator couldn't confirm the timeline. Mrs. Peacock. Blackstone had discovered her charitable foundation was for embezzlement. Alibi. Insists she was in the ladies' lounge with several other guests. However, none could recall seeing her. Colonel Mustard. Blackstone knew of the colonel's role in covering up a disastrous military operation overseas. Alibi. Claims he was on a phone call with his commanding officer. Phone records showed no such call. Mr. Green. Motive. Blackstone intended to reveal his connections to illegal lobbying efforts. Alibi. Claims he was in the lobby chatting with staffers. None remembered his presence. Dr. Orchid. Motive. Blackstone recently learned of her covert experiments involving classified government research. Alibi. Claims she was in the medical suite preparing for potential emergencies, but no evidence supported her presence there. As Detective Finch dug deeper, she found an alarming connection. All 6 suspects had been summoned to the private study earlier that morning for a closed-door meeting with President Blackstone. He had intended to confront them collectively and offer a deal, confess their wrongdoings publicly or face his exposure. Blackstone had recorded the entire meeting, which Detective Finch uncovered in a hidden device on his person. The recording revealed heated arguments, accusations, and a threat. "You'll regret this," a voice hissed. But whose voice was it? Analyzing the study further, Finch noticed an odd smudge on the golden pen in Blackstone's hand. It contained traces of cyanide. The killer had laced the pen, knowing Blackstone's habit of nervously chewing on it during tense moments. With this revelation, Finch turned her attention to the recording. Slowing it down, she identified a faint but distinct sound of footsteps retreating immediately after the threat was issued. Matching the gait to security footage, the detective confronted the killer. Dr. Orchid. She had the expertise to handle cyanide without arousing suspicion and was desperate to keep her covert experiments hidden. When cornered, she confessed, claiming she acted out of self-preservation and fear of losing her career and freedom. The nation mourned President Blackstone, but his legacy lived on. The evidence he had gathered against the other suspects ensured their eventual downfall. In the end, justice prevailed, though the Capitol would never forget the dark turn that marred Inauguration Day.